I did yoga. That really, we always want to be learning, we always want to be growing, we always want to be changing, because there's always room to be learning, there's always room to be growing, and there's always room to be changing healthy carbs. It's taken me like a really long time to learn what is going on in my body, but also how to fix it. Those things make a huge difference in the day-to-day. Yeah, I'm gonna take advantage. I really was trying to find Good morning, ladies. Welcome back to the Well-Nourished Homemaker. I hope you all are doing well today. I, as you can see, just got out of the shower and I wanted to do my hair and makeup, start the vlog off for you ladies. I just finished my posture workout this morning. I'm trying to take it easy with like the weight training this week and focus more on my posture, glutes, and walking. So I have a few things planned for this video as usual, and I hope you ladies enjoy and you find some homemaking motivation and you get inspired as homemakers and go to town to pick up a few things. I want to get some creatine because I've noticed that my joints and my bones are having a hard time recovering, so that's why I'm taking a break. But I also did some research and found that that was really helpful for rebuilding muscle tissue, and not like preventing your muscle tissue from breaking down, which is really important. And I can tell when that's happening. When I sit in one place for too long, I get super stiff. Yeah, we'll see what else we can get into today. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help out my channel, and I hope you find some encouragement today. So without further ado, let's just go and get started. All right, so something I have been working on very diligently is my posture and my alignment. And I noticed after postpartum, my body tried to compensate for obviously the baby, but after postpartum, like I would always have this instinctual muscle kick on up here to like kind of suck in and lock in my stomach from the excess fat that I had built, because I would always be self-conscious of it. So my body would naturally like kick on my upper abdominal muscles. I've talked about this before, but if you are a mama who is trying to get back her body composition and her posture postpartum, I know how difficult it can be. It's taken me, I mean, Lydia's almost a year and a half. After losing the weight, I think it's easier. It's to transition over into working on that, and posture just affects everything. And I've noticed that even watching back through my videos, how my face has changed and my neck, and having that double chin. So I've just really been trying to work on my posture, because I'm getting into all the scientific reasons. But if you're somebody who's struggling with this, I hope that it can help, because it's taken me like a really long time to learn what is going on in my body, but also how to fix it. So that's what I'm working on right now. But you can develop like an anterior like pelvic tilt where your butt pushes out and your stomach protrudes. So you need to like lock that in and learn how to strengthen those core muscles. You're gonna want to have like pelvic floor therapy, which if you've been on my channel, you know I went through like an 86-day program to strengthen my core and my pelvic floor, but it still wasn't enough. Like I needed to strengthen my posture and my muscles in my back. So that's what I've been working on. And hi honey. Having bad form and posture can really have like a tripling effect all over your body. It can make you use tendons, strain your tendons in your neck, which can prevent and make you look older, because if you get these lines right here that make you go down, like push down like that, it could just be that your muscles are working to compensate for something else. So like I said, it's just all connected. So if you like loosen up, that's why I like deep tissue massages and foam rolling, because it really go in with the foam roller right here and loosen those tendons. Anywhere where you push pressure and it hurts, like right there, means that you need like to keep pushing pressure, so then it can kind of dissipate and melt in a way in your fingers to loosen that up. I noticed that I was having like this line here in my face, and I was just noticing I was looking a lot older, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know the winter, you know, lack of hydration. And so I've noticed something that has been hydrating my face immensely, and helping me like not look so old when I wake up in the morning, is having fruits that are really high in water content, like watermelon. I've been having watermelon, cantaloupe, Oh my gosh, that has truly made a difference. I told my friend the other day, I was like, why didn't I put this together? I went all winter looking old and feeling dry in my skin, and I was trying to think, okay, do I need like a new serum or like a moisturizer? But it actually was something that I needed to nourish and hydrate within that was, you know, showing in my skin. So a beauty tip there, if you're struggling with super dry skin or just your face looks dull, it needs like plump, or try to focus on fruits, oranges, kiwi, things like that that are really nourishing to the skin can go a long way. Another thing that I've been focusing on is glutes, because as I've mentioned, like my glutes became inactive because I was trying to compensate for my posture. So adding the posture exercises on top of the glute exercises has really transformed and transitioned my body composition. Along with, I've still been doing intermittent fasting. I'm gonna start doing the 16-8 method because I find that to be more sustainable. I did like the 30-day challenge for the 18-6 method, and that really helped jumpstart my motivation and metabolism and my appetite, and really getting like a good routine down on what works for me. So I'll stop eating at like 4 or 5 and then pick up eating at like 8 or 9 in the morning. I've noticed that any exercise that really makes me feel like I'm on the point of crying, like when I do my posture back workout. I want to show you ladies like the exercises that I've been working on. If you're interested in that, let me know. But there's this exercise, I have to put my body to the wall and put my hands up without my elbows lifting off the wall, and I have to go all the way up. It's really hard. You would not think. And then there's a specific glute workout that I remember when I did my challenge. Those exercises always made me feel like on the verge of tears. I remember one time I just broke down and I cried. Not just because it was like really hard, but I think I was holding all of my stress and my tension in that part of my body. And when I was working it, I was like almost strengthening it and releasing it at the same time. And I felt like this flood of emotion. So I thought that was pretty interesting, because we can hold trauma and stress in our bodies. So learning how to release that, that's why I love foam rolling. So yeah, I've noticed that any exercise that makes me really is difficult, I don't shy away from it. I really push into it so I can get strong at it. And I think it's easy to like, oh, I'm gonna be on my fitness journey, I'm gonna work out, and then we find like a specific workout that really is hard and challenges us, and we kind of like push away from that, and we're like, oh, I'll do this stuff over here. But those are the workouts and exercises you need to do the most. As far as my nutrition goes, I have still been doing pretty good. I'm trying to be at a calorie deficit. I don't reach it every day, and honestly I don't really know, even though like I've calculated my BMI and my TDEE, something like that, I really truly honestly don't know, okay, how many calories am I burning in this workout? How many calories have I burned today? And how can I be at a calorie deficit if I don't know that number? So I really want to get like a monitor, like a watch or a ring or something like that, to really calculate that, because without that, I'm kind of feeling like lost and not really knowing I can stop with my calories and what is a calorie deficit. So I think having something like that as a tool can really be helpful. So I think I'm gonna look into something like that. But yeah, you ladies have seen, I've really been trying to have like a nourishing breakfast and have my protein, fats, carbs. I try to aim for 120 grams of protein a day, and like that averages out like 30 grams per each meal. I did learn, that's why I'm not always like, oh, like high protein. It's more so enough protein for your body, because too much protein isn't a good thing. It can cause constipation if you don't add fiber. What are you doing? But anyways, I just wanted to update you on my health journey and share some things that I've been doing and learning, because it's so valuable to be able to learn from somebody else after like gain so much information in one video that took that person years to learn. So it's just, I think it's really nice to share your journey. That way others can, you know, be ahead of the game and learn. Yeah, I hear my daughter waking up, so I'm gonna go get her and then we'll start the rest of the day. So I figured out a way to make carrots stovetop, and it takes like 10 to 15 minutes, and carrots are so good for you, but I always would resist buying them just because I thought, oh, it's gonna take hours, and no. So I am going to make carrots a regular part of my diet. So what you do is you just chop them up, put them on the stovetop, and I add butter, maple syrup, parsley, like the paste parsley, you get all of these, garlic powder and salt, and that is it. They are, oh my gosh, I'll show you. This is what they look like if you can see them. They're so soft. Like I said, it takes like 10 minutes. Carrots are really good to help grab on, I believe, to excessive estrogen in your body, like built up in your body, and so many other good benefits. So I'm just really excited that I learned how to cook carrots properly and in no time. Like I'm gonna be having, I already made up my sausage here with avocado and toast. So protein, fats, fiber, and carbs for the carrots. So that's what Alright ladies, it is almost 10 o'clock. I am getting ready to head to bed. I just wanted to check in with you ladies. I ended up going for a walk on the treadmill. I did about an hour and I burned, like it said, 300 calories. I did the interval training where I ran for a little bit and then I walked. So I took a shower, made myself some tea, and I got a lot of editing done, and I really surprised myself because I was not planning on walking. It was already like almost 9 o'clock, and I was watching someone who really motivated me on Instagram, and I was like, you know what, why not? So I was trying to see if this way is better, but not really. I was watching the Princess Royal, but yeah, I ended up having to wash my hair again today because I was really sweaty. I have been using a new shampoo and conditioner from Tresemme. It's for volume, and it is amazing. I love it so much. My friend, she said she was using Tresemme and she loved how her hair was feeling, and shampoo really does make a difference in your hair quality. So I just wanted to share that little beauty tip too. You know, it is a drugstore and I know that it probably has perfumes and chemicals in it, but I'm not that crunchy. I mean, I try to do my best to be clean and approach health in like a holistic way, but at the same time, like, we have to be balanced. We have to not hold ourselves to such a high standard because it's just going to end up making your life, you know, not as enjoyable, and you're always just going to be overthinking and overanalyzing everything, and it's just going to sap the joy right out of your life. So, you know, you have to give and take, pick your poison, as I always say. So anyways, my hair is really fine and thin, so I really was trying to find like a volumizing shampoo, and I tried all the natural ones, but it always made my hair feel really tacky. But yeah, I'm getting ready to head to bed, and I am going to try and wake up early tomorrow morning around 5 before the kids wake up. I want to get like one of those alarm clocks that slowly wake you up with a light, because Josiah still sleeps with us in bed. I just can't I can't. He'll be turning 4 next month, and I just know that there's not going to be very much longer where I'm going to be able to do that with him, and I just want to savor every chance that I get. I'm going to try and do like a 30-day challenge. I love doing 30-day challenge because they're always just, they give me the motivation and the boost that I need to start. The goal is to start waking up again before the kids around 5 a.m. And it's not necessarily that I have to go to bed any earlier, because as long as I'm getting like enough protein in the day and I'm drinking enough water and getting in my workouts, I think I'll have that deep sleep. Right now Lydia is kind of transitioning in a leap or something. She's been waking up like multiple times in the night. Before that, like, she has been consistently sleeping through the night, so that's been really good. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get in the habit again of waking up, mainly to not just allow my central nervous system to wake up in a calm setting, but also to really prioritize my Bible study, So that is a goal of mine that I'm going to start in the month of April, because March is almost over. I'm getting a little head start just to wean myself into it. I would love for you to join me, and if you do, let me know and we can encourage each other along the way. So all right, it's been a nice productive day, so I'm going to end the vlog here and I will see you in the morning. Alright, good morning ladies. It is a new day. Unfortunately, I was not able to wake up at 5. I did set the alarm, but I had to press snooze because Lydia woke up like 4 times and then Josiah woke up. I needed to change his diaper, and for some reason my mind was doing this thing. I don't know how to explain it. I think it was because maybe I did my walk too late that it was hard for my body to like wind down. So duly noted. I think prioritizing sleep above all else, it is most important to me. I know that if I would have woke up at 5, those last 3 hours, because I normally wake up at 8 now because of the time change, would have been really needed to help me get through the day. So I just need to accept, I guess, when things don't go as planned, and just to put so much pressure on myself or anything. I'm gonna try next time. I'm gonna try tomorrow. Today is a dreary, rainy day today. So I'm not for sure what we're doing today, but I just wanted to continue the vlog for you ladies, and I'm gonna go sit down and drink some of my coffee and wake up a little bit.
I get a little bit breathless. My thoughts are too big. Can I get some comfort, please? I guess I should have been honest. It breaks in my heart.
Alright ladies, so I'm getting ready to do my 12-minute posture workout, and I just wanted to share with you ladies what I do. I kind of put together 6 different exercises that I particularly like, that challenges me, and I'm gonna do them for 2 minutes each. So getting ready to start that, and my hair is really wavy today. I didn't blow dry it last night. I slept in it while it was wet, but I put the silk hair wrap over it, so I kind of like how it turned out, and I'm actually gonna try and do it more often. That way I can stay away from heat. So anyways, yeah, my daughter's napping and it's around noon, so I'm gonna do my workout. It's not really a workout, it's kind of like stretching, so I'm not gonna, you know, break a sweat or anything like that. So I didn't put on my workout clothes.
The train just left this town, while I'm slowly heading back to my apartment. I'm not asking for...
The wall one is by far the hardest, and I feel the most burn in my upper back. Oh, I'm like sweating. It's really hard. Alright ladies, that is the posture workout. The glute bridges are the ones that I mentioned before that I think I was holding a lot of my tension in, and I wasn't able to do like 3 in a row without like falling down, and those are the ones where I just broke down and cried because it was so difficult and so hard, and I was really frustrated with my body. I've come a long way, so it's really your body's way of saying like this part of your body needs to be fixed and worked on and strengthened. So all right, well, I'm going to sit at my desk and check some emails, do a little bit of editing, and maybe do a little study. All right, before I do that, I wanted to take advantage of this curly hair I have and just put some mousse in it so it can last a little bit longer. Maybe I can get away with a few days. So I just use the Suave. I get this at Walmart. I also like the hairspray as well. So cute and pink. I used to scrunch my hair almost every day in high school, And I really loved the look, and it lasts for days. So I think I'm gonna start scrunching my hair. I don't know if you ladies have noticed, but I have definitely noticed the length of my hair getting so much longer just within a month of taking that Mary Ruth's multivitamin for hair growth. So I'm just so excited. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna let that dry and let's go check some emails. So something I try to be mindful when I'm sitting at my desk is not to like slouch, but to just keep my posture back. Make sure my chin is not like going like this, looking down, checking my phone, just making sure I'm going like this. Those things make a huge difference in the day-to-day, just as if like you're, you know, the way you position yourself when you're sleeping for 8 hours. If you're sedentary, like on your desk, or if you have an office job, those things add up. A lot of people are struggling with back issues, and especially postpartum mamas, so it's just important to, one, do those posture exercises to strengthen those muscles, but just to also like keep your posture. And at first, this was really hard to do without incorporating the posture exercises, because at first it was like really hard, like it was just uncomfortable, and I was just like, okay. And then your mind would shut off, and then you'd slowly like lean over again. But when you do those exercises, your body is naturally in that position. So it makes it a lot easier for when you are sedentary or driving or whatnot. So yeah, I just wanted to share. Hey ladies, here is my lunch. I did steamed spinach with rice and ground hamburger, avocado, and I used this steamed California Melody vegetable mix I get at Aldi. So I just stock up on these, like I get like 10 in a row. They're only at like $1 something, and you get like a huge serving of your vegetables. So super simple and easy way to steam some vegetables on top of the stove to get in your healthy carbs. So that is my lunch for today. So just want to share. Alright, so it is around 5 o'clock, and I wanted to get in a little walk before I started to make dinner and did the nighttime routine. So I already cleaned up the living room, and I just wanted to try to get in some steps. I'm going to do like the interval training where I walk for a little bit and then run, and that makes me be able to burn more calories and do it in a short amount of time. So So I ended up making a little fruit bowl. I was really craving fruit, so I cut up some cantaloupe, did yogurt, cinnamon, chia seeds, bee pollen. I did a scoop of my protein powder. So altogether, this is like 30 grams of protein. So yeah, I'm gonna mix this up and enjoy. All right, ladies, I made myself a ham sandwich with some spinach, tomato. I used that yum yum sauce and a slice of cheese, and that's the fiber toast. So 30 grams of protein right there, super yummy, delicious. So that is my lunch for today. Alright ladies, I just made myself a second cup of coffee and I want to come back here and talk to you a little bit about when not to be kind to yourself. I know since this is a video tailored more towards like your health and fitness journey, when being kind to yourself can actually be a hindrance. So I think it's important to talk about because I myself have expressed that it's important to be kind to yourself, to give yourself grace, but there comes a point where that can actually hinder your progress and hold you back from improving on yourself, whether that be from diet, fitness, your health, maybe you see personality flaws that you would like to work on, your mental health and your marriage and so forth. So I just wanted to touch on this a little bit and give some practical guidelines on how we can approach this with a balanced mindset and to know when to be kind to ourselves and when not to be kind to ourselves. So with anything that you do in life that helps you grow and become better, there's always going to be that level of uncomfortability. So the more we become comfortable with being uncomfortable, make us become more aware of when becoming kind to ourselves is actually not a good thing. I think sometimes too we can deceive ourselves into thinking like, oh, I'm comfortable where I'm at, and it's when you are comfortable that you need to really self-reflect and realize, okay, why am I so comfortable? Obviously, there was always need to improve. We don't want to be like, okay, productivity over everything, but we always want to be learning. We always want to be growing. We always want to be changing because there's always room to be learning, there's always room to be growing, and there's always room to be changing. And we never want to have that mindset where I've learned all there is to know, I don't need to know anymore, or just like that pessimistic or passive way of just living our lives. Like learning and growing is such a good tool to help improve in our mental health. So when we deceive ourselves into thinking like, oh, I'm comfortable where I'm at, that's fine, but we always want to say, okay, what can I learn next? And deceive ourselves into that false reasoning like, oh, you know, I'm going to be kind to myself, I'm going to give myself grace, and I'm good where I'm at. So there is such a thing as being mistakenly kind to oneself, and that could be the case if you take a short-sighted view rather than a long-range view. So for example, I think we see this a lot on social media where there is a medically overweight woman and she decides that she wants to get fit and healthy, and she gets a lot of criticism for that and body shaming, and that she's not promoting body positivity, and you know, she says to herself, I want to get fit and healthy and work out, but then she gets like that false reasoning of be kind to yourself or shaming her for doing so. And just to do a little disclaimer, if any of these things trigger you, it may be in fact that you have been too kind to yourself and that you're deceiving yourself as well. Because I understand that people struggle with body image and eating disorders and things like that, and I definitely want to be very mindful of that and sensitive, but at the same time I'm talking about somebody who is like overly critical, overly judgmental on others if they find that they want to improve on themselves. It's just interesting how some of these topics have become so taboo and that people have become so sensitive with their pride and their ego, and it just blinds them from the truth. It really is a self-reflection, of course, on them and a mirror reflecting back on them. So anyways, back to the woman who maybe wants to lose weight. She says what she wants to do, but she does the opposite. So it's foolishness on her part, which means a lack of good judgment, to say, well, I'm just going to be kind to myself and eat, you know, whatever I want and indulge in her craving by temporarily being kind to herself. But she makes matters worse in the long run. It can be true for somebody who indulges in alcohol. He can be kind to himself in the moment, but only hastening the day of reckoning when those bad habits catch up to them. So I always want to include like scriptural reasonings because they give me the results that I want 100% of the time if I follow them. And I find that the wisdom found in the Bible is balanced and it gives us examples that we can learn from. So for instance, when Jesus, he had a goal in mind that he needed to fulfill in order to save mankind, and he knew in order to fulfill that goal he had to suffer and endure some trials. But his friend Peter said to him that he didn't need to go through any of that and to be kind to himself. Of course, Jesus replied that he told him to get behind him and that he was a stumbling block So there's many situations where we're going to decide to improve on our lives. We're going to go on a fitness journey. We're going to be excited about it. We're going to tell others about it. We want to start improving on our personality, and we want to start making better habits and living more wholesomely. Maybe we want to choose like better entertainment. Maybe we don't want to go out on the weekends and get drunk. And those things are not normal. So yeah, we're going to come into confrontation with maybe associates or people at work or friends, family that are not so excited as we are when it comes to improving our lives. But we want to take that example of Jesus, where he knew that being kind to himself was not going to inevitably get him the results that he wanted and to fulfill his goal. I do want to say there are times for sure that we need to be kind to ourselves and that we need to show ourselves grace. When we use that excuse in every opportunity to dismiss the facts of the case and keeping ourselves ignorant may bring bliss in the moment, but eventually we will reap what we sow. So we want to be asking ourselves, what kind of habits am I sowing each day? Do I wake up and allow myself to be swayed by emotion? Yeah, I think I'm going to skip my workout today. I don't think I need to eat really healthy. I mean, what's the point? Like, I haven't seen much change. Well, I already had 2 cookies. Might as well eat the whole box. Well, I'm staying home all day anyways, but why should I get dressed? Why should I do my hair and makeup? Or do we have a growth mindset where we reject our fleshly tendencies, our desires, our thoughts, our cravings? And do we have a mission? Do we have a goal? Do we have a purpose? A long range view of how we want to live our lives. Our habits each day make up our life. Do we want to feel good? Do we want to look good? Do we want to live our most joyful life? And there's going to be a lot of times where we ourselves or somebody else will try to persuade us or tempt us into follow the line of least resistance and to take the easy course. We ourselves know like maybe why we do it, maybe apathy or laziness or just feeling discouraged, lack of motivation. But as far as other people go, there's many reasons that people can find, you changing maybe threatening to them. They may feel jealous, they may feel uncomfortable, annoyed, but we just have to use a little bit of insight and recognize like that could just be reflecting their own inadequacies and their uncomfortabilities and just forcing them to see like all the ways in which they need to improve and change. And because they're not there mentally, that can really cause them discomfort and make them react in a certain way. And of course, that makes them see like their weaknesses and, oh, I have a lot of bad habits. And misery loves company. So if you are not miserable with them and you start to show like a positive mindset and look on the brighter side of things and not to be so pessimistic and to try to look for the good, that kind of stuff annoys them. They're like, no, like, and a lot of the times you have to think like if somebody's like pointing the finger at you, they have 3 more pointing back at them. So I have to remember that for myself when I maybe feel threatened or somebody gives me constructive criticism, or just in your relationship with your marriage, like if you're like, you don't do this, you don't do that, you can kind of, turn that around and reflect inwardly and think, okay, like I do the same thing. We know, like we just want to show compassion, give them grace at times too, because they've built something so much up in their lives as like a defense mechanism, but that's their life. So if they're not willing to go on this self-improvement journey with you, as hard as it may seem, they might just be like a stumbling block for you. But once you become enlightened of this fact, I think your conscience starts to guide you with wisdom. It's going to encourage you not to self-indulge, to be moderate in habit, and to discipline yourself with recreation. Because if you stay up late, you have a goal to wake up early, feeling refreshed, to start your day off right, to get in your Bible study, to work out, all these things. But if you stay up late and indulge in yourself for hours and hours on a show, and then before you know it, it's midnight and you want to wake up at 5 a.m., that's not showing shrewdness, it's not showing self-control, and it's indulging in your weaknesses. Now, do I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning? Do I go to bed at 9 a.m. at night every day? No, but that's my goal, and I try to reach that as much as I can. But there's going to be times where I will give myself grace, where I will show myself a little kindness because maybe my daughter woke up 3 or 4 times in the night, or maybe I'm just tired and I do want to watch my show. But it's something that we have to again, long range view, if my habits are to do that every single day, that's when we have to reevaluate. Yeah, in conclusion, I just wanted to share like a few scriptures, and they really help bring the point home. The first one is at Proverbs 28:23, and it says, "Whoever reproves a man will afterward find more favor than anyone who flatters him with his tongue." So again, if somebody's always flattering you and not speaking truth to you, of course we want to do it in a kind and gentle way. But if they're always like, yeah, you're good, like you don't need to improve on anything, you're perfect how you are, like you do you, is actually not being kind at all. Another scripture at Proverbs 27:6, it says, "The wounds inflicted by a friend are faithful, but an enemy's kisses are plentiful." So that's pretty straightforward. You see things that are maybe hindering your friend from progressing or from making changes that you know are for the betterment, and that maybe they're blinded to it. It's better for you to inflict wounds on them, so to speak, with maybe sharing with them some little tough love, as we say, than someone who is kissing them and making them feel like they don't need to change, saying that you're basically an enemy of them. Good one. Proverbs 141:5, it says, "Should the righteous one strike me, it would be an act of loyal love. Should he reprove me, it would be like oil on my head." So at first, like when we get constructive criticism, it can be like somebody striking us, maybe with our ego and pride, and it might take us a little time to reason and to allow ourselves to truly reflect on what they say, and if anything, try to find ways to improve. That in the end, like we would want to be thankful for their act of loyal love, and that is something that is showing kindness to us. And the last one is at Proverbs 9:8-9, and it says, "Do not reprove a ridiculer, or he will hate you. Reprove a wise person, and he will love you. Share with a wise person, and he will become wiser." So isn't that so true? Like people who do not want to hear the truth, or if you try to reprove and share with them things that you've learned, they are very quick to be judgmental and ridicule you, and he will end up hating you. But if a wise person hears reproof or correction, then they're going to take that to heart. They're going to see ways in which they can improve, and they're going to become wiser for it. So, and in that way, like it's kind of saying like there's a time to be kind to ourselves, there's a time to give us grace, but there's also a time where we need to speak truth, where we need to be gentle with reproof and give discipline and correction. And I know it's hard, especially like sharing and being vulnerable to the people you're closest with, like for instance, like my best friend, like they're gonna see the worst flaws, and they're gonna see, whoa, they're gonna start seeing like your little idiosyncrasies, and of course you open yourself up to judgment, but hope in the end, like when they see that you need to improve, that you're gonna try to take whatever they say to heart, even though it may hurt in the beginning. And you're gonna see, just because in the end it's like we keep ourselves stuck, we keep ourselves in the same place, we stop growing, we stop changing. And a lot of the times what hinders us from that is our ego and our pride. There's things that I still need to work on within like my marriage or my motherhood or my personal development. And there's things that I allow myself to be hindered, things that I am still working through, that I'm trying to challenge myself to become uncomfortable. I know I've shared this with you ladies before, but like the dynamic between a marriage where, you know, you're so used to keeping your walls up and protecting yourself from hurt, like it's gonna take some uncomfortability to let down those walls and to be vulnerable with your mate. And it's just when you show that love to them or to your mate, you are showing it to yourself. And that's probably what's the hardest, is because if you've never received that love or that loving correction or discipline, it may be hard because you don't maybe know how to process it. But the more you do it and the more you accept it, the more it becomes easier, and the more you learn to get comfortable in being uncomfortable. So yeah, I hope that helped you ladies just with any journey that you're on, whether it be fitness or personal development or in your motherhood, your marriage, just to self-reflect and see where there's areas where you can improve, and to not you know, overly indulge in being kind to yourself and giving yourself grace, because at times a little tough love is necessary. So all right, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and you found some homemaking motivation and you got inspired as homemakers. And if you did, please give this a thumbs up. It really does help out my channel. And I hope to see you ladies in my next video. All right, bye.